After the government shutdown cost me my contract and my company was affected as well, I applied to over 50 jobs this week. Yes, over 50. And I didn't do it by mass clicking nor spam. Put in real effort. And with that came along follow-up emails, phone calls, and going in person. I know it's kind of old school, right? But we're going in person. I went to temp agencies as well. And after all that, here's what happened. I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Hey, I just want to apologize up front. I know I'm not on camera. We updated some of our softwares, and so my camera is not working with me. So I apologize if it's not me hiding.
I was gonna say you were hiding too, by the way. No,
I know that's the common consensus. Everybody says that. But I'll just say thank you for joining. I just wanted to go through a brief introduction, just so you can have expectations of the flow of this conversation. And then we'll dive into it. Like I had mentioned, I know we had talked briefly before. I am the HR manager.
The government is in the middle of a shutdown now, as I'm sure you've heard.
I was affected, so I know.
You were affected? We were not affected.
I was the only person that put in officers. Nobody wanted to touch officers because they're like, you're the only person with education. So they didn't want to touch officers. So I did all the officers, even with just using HR, broke into schools by building relationships. Schools that we were kicked out of, I got ourselves into those schools. They made it a team effort. So anytime, even it sucked because if I'm putting in 4, it's like they're gonna take from me and give to the people that are rolling donuts. And I couldn't stand that, to be honest with you. I'm like, I'm putting in the work, give me my credit. But it is what it is. I couldn't look at how they looked at it.
I was an Army recruiter in Detroit.
So let's talk about how I ended up getting that interview. So I applied for the position and I got a call and I was looking at it. I didn't answer it. They were leaving me a voicemail. I didn't answer because it was like one of those spam looking numbers. And I saw the transcript going across my voicemail, and that's when I picked it up. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, how are you? And the person that called wasn't a recruiter. It was the actual hiring manager. I was like, wow, hiring manager's calling. Where's the recruiter, right? So we had a good conversation, and the hiring manager let me know that they're trying to make a move ASAP. He said, right now, we are not affected by the shutdown. Yes. So it's like, great. But we talked about the salary, very, very low. But something's better than nothing, right? And so the position was HR, and it's located in Florida, back home. So I was like, okay, great. I'm definitely interested in interviewing. When can we interview? And she said, are you available tomorrow? Quick interview. So that was the interview you guys watched. It was literally a call by the hiring manager that day, and then next day, that was the interview. And with the position, it was quite interesting because it was originally listed as just a HR assistant 3, but then it changed to, after the conversation and the interview, turned to becoming an HR generalist. So it's like, hey, just go in and reapply. Here's the link, because I have to have it aligned well. So I was waiting on that position, see how that goes. They were not affected originally. And again, they were trying to make a move quick. And when I had questioned the timeline, she said within like 2 weeks. And she said within 2 weeks of making a decision, I want someone to start in 2 weeks. It seemed like she was really, really on it. When the interview, everyone indicated also how much someone is needed there, because that hiring managers literally doing everything, recruiting the whole 9 yards. So definitely need assistance. So I did follow up, and unfortunately, things took a little turn because with the shutdown, it's like a trickle effect. It ended up affecting them also, but they said no worries because you're just on hold at this point. Excellent. So that's interview one. So the next position is actually in Virginia.
Yeah, thanks for the quick turn on that letter of commitment too. We had to make some changes, and then just wanted to see if I could grab your social burner real quick. Kind of the middle of January is when they're expecting the award date to come out.
With that position, it's like perfect, honestly, because it's 7 minutes from where I live. 7 minutes. You can get close to a job that's like perfect. Don't got to deal with traffic. So 7 minutes. The pay is right there, exactly what I'm looking for. The position's right there, what I'm looking for. Perfect. And they were very interested. They said, hey, can you sign a letter of commitment? Great, I'll sign it. When are you looking for this position to start? That's the thing. So my lease, because I signed a short-term lease, my lease ends in January. I have to drop the notice the beginning of next month. So they're requiring a 60-day notice. The position, the start time, they're not looking at until possibly like January. And that's because of what's going on now with the shutdown and then award for the contract as well. So it's like it's a perfect position, like perfect role for me and everything, especially with the location and right there doing what I truly enjoy doing. But the timeline just doesn't add up. So I have to, if that comes through, I have to try to figure things out, but really I have to figure out a little sooner because you're looking at dropping that notice. So I'm not gonna say, hey, I'm gonna stay here, especially with a role that's not starting until around January. What I have to do is end up going back to Northern Virginia if that one happens. So far, those have been 2 government positions. Position number 3, another government position. And with this one, sometimes it's just not a fit. The culture fit just wasn't there with this position, with how the interview went. I don't know if you guys ever been in an interview and you just felt like, I don't want to walk out this interview. It was like one of those interviews. That's how it felt. But I didn't do that. I stuck through it, and it's just that definitely wouldn't work for me. Let's switch over because I've been talking about government positions that have been hitting me back in my government interviews. Switch over to, because I also applied to the civilian roles. So here's one for the civilian role. So with this one, the communication just kind of hasn't been there, kind of been ghosting. I've been reaching out, calling, and as you can see, there's been some form of communication, but no full follow through. Let's talk about the next position. All right, so I'm not gonna go through every single thing, obviously, especially with saying I applied to like about 50. But as you can see, there's been communication, and most of it's been from government sector space. So that shows that, for one, I know how to get through with doing resumes because I'm getting feedback. And for 2, it's just showing you guys the progress that's been made, because a lot of people are questioning, hey, what you've been doing, blase. But anyways, out of all the positions that I applied for, like I said, the ones that's been really hitting back has been the government ones. So at this point, I'm just kind of, still in the grind with putting in applications and at the same time working at my company, because it shows, like I said, the effectiveness of my resume building. On top of that, I've also gotten calls about those interested in my services, and I actually have a booking that I have to work on during this upcoming week. So progress is definitely getting made, and so obviously I'm not going to go through every single one, but it just shows the progress that's getting made. It's very important to put this out because there's been a load of comments like, hey, what are you going to do? Why aren't you applying? Like, come on, what do you think? I'm just sitting here 24/7, just sitting in a room all day doing absolutely nothing? Like, come on. But that definitely shows a bigger piece of it, how, the resumes that I do get through, because I've been getting interviews already on top of, obviously getting through connecting with recruiters. So that progress is definitely there. And you do have some situations where, you'll talk to a recruiter, recruiters do ghost, but again, you can't win them all, and having interviews this fast is definitely progress. So also I want to add that I've been getting calls for those interested in my service. That has started to pick back up a little, and I do have one booking. Awesome, I have one booking, and I've got plenty of calls where people are like, hey, I'm interested, but I don't have the money right now. And at the end of the day, right now, look at the times, and it's a service. I gotta make my money at the end of the day. I can't just be out here spending my time that I can be doing other things to just do things for free at this point. So that being said, thank you all who have been very supportive. You guys are saying, hey, we're praying for you, hoping for the best and things like that. I really appreciate it. And I want to say that it's definitely been helpful and working, because our progress right now is, like I said, it's been going good. There's nothing locked down, obviously, at the moment, but that's just at the moment, because there are things that, like I mentioned earlier, are on hold. So again, thank you all, and I'll see you next time.